Guys who got told no during a failed marriage proposal. What happened afterwards? It was one of those weddings where everything felt like it had been planned to the second. The kind of event with a printed itinerary inside the welcome bags and signature cocktails named after the couple's pets. I went because the bride, Rachel, was a friend of mine from grad school. We'd grown apart after graduating, but she sent me the invite and I figured, why not? It was being held at this restored barn venue out in the countryside, complete with string lights, fire pits, and a catering company that served elevated comfort food. It was a Pinterest dream come to life. Her husband, Kareem, seemed like a quiet but polite guy. I only met him twice before the wedding, once at their engagement party and once at a mutual friend's birthday. He had an accent, I think Lebanese or Egyptian, but his English was perfect and he worked in finance. I remember him being a little stiff at that party, like he wasn't used to the social scene, but Rachel just laughed it off. She said he was still getting used to the way her friends overshared everything. The wedding itself was stunning. Rachel wore this sleeveless dress with a long lace train and did her hair in a braid that looked like it belonged in a magazine. Kareem looked sharp in a dark blue tux. There were speeches, dancing, and a photo booth with props. They looked happy. No one had any reason to think this wasn't real. 3 months later, Rachel posted a photo of her dog on Instagram with a weird caption about starting over. No ring, no Kareem. A couple days after that, she called me. I hadn't heard her cry like that since we were in our 20s. It took her a while to get the words out, but when she did, I remember sitting down because my knees actually buckled. Kareem was already married, had been for years, wife, 2 kids, back in Morocco. He had told Rachel that his family was back home and that he sent money to support his younger siblings while they finished school. He'd go back every couple of months, always for family obligations. Rachel never questioned it. She said she trusted him, especially since he worked so much and always seemed exhausted. She chalked up his guardedness to culture and personality. It wasn't even her who found out. A friend of hers, Olivia, had been traveling in Morocco and decided to reach out to Kareem's family to say hello, since Rachel had mentioned the city a few times. She found his actual Facebook page, under a slightly different name, where he was tagged in photos with his wife and kids. The most recent post was a family outing to the zoo, dated 3 weeks after the wedding. Rachel confronted him. He didn't deny it. Said his marriage back home was complicated, that it was more of a financial arrangement for the sake of the children, and that he loved her. But Rachel was already spiraling. She called the woman, the wife, who didn't even know about her, said she'd suspected things but didn't know it had gone this far. There was yelling, crying, and then silence. Rachel filed for an annulment. It got approved fast because of the bigamy. She took a week off work and stayed with her sister, deleted her social media for a while. I don't think she's been on a date since. That was almost 2 years ago now. The crazy part is, no one at the wedding had any clue. No one picked up on anything. Even his groomsmen were people from work, guys who barely knew him. It was like he compartmentalized 2 lives and was fully prepared to keep it that way. No slip-ups, no weird calls, nothing. I don't know what happened to Kareem. He vanished, quit his job, moved out of the apartment they shared. One day he was there, the next day he was gone. Last Rachel heard, he'd gone back to Morocco to be with his children. That's what he told the lawyer. Sometimes I think about how calm he seemed. The vows, the toasts, the way he smiled for photos and danced awkwardly with Rachel's grandmother. He acted like a guy who really loved her. Or maybe he was just good at lying. Either way, it was one of the most surreal things I've ever seen unravel. We all thought it was a fairy tale. Turns out it was a con.